Hi, everybody.
Hello.
That's Chad over there, and this is Kendall here. Welcome to our another episode in my series that I'm doing called Beer 30, because it's always happy hour somewhere, right? Cheers.
Cheers. That's how time zones work, I think.
So Chad, for those of you who weren't paying attention, is one of the co-founders and owners of Bridal Beer Company in Sunnyside, Washington, over there in the middle of the hop fields and all that good fruit fields and all the good yummy stuff over there in Eastern Washington, the Yakima Valley. And we picked a good time to be talking to him because everybody knows that with the COVID-19 shutdowns and stuff going on right now, a lot of breweries are hustling their butts off to get their product into cans, bottles and cans, especially cans. And that's what's going on at Bridal right now. So we're going to get back there and take a look at what's going on. We understand it's kind of loud, but we'll get back there and we'll take a look at it and see what's going on. But in the meantime, thanks for joining us today, Chad. What are you drinking?
I am drinking our first thing that came off the line, our Weed Wolf Doomsayer, which is our latest entry and our first packaged entry in the Weed Wolf kind of double IPA series. So this is art from one of our local tattoo artists that Chris does work with, and we do an annual collaboration with called New Ink. So we were like, hey, I guess we need labels now. So you want to draw something? You're out of work. So, we actually have a host of labels coming up for the next canning run, working with other tattoo artists who all cannot do any work.
Right.
So yeah.
I'm going to tell you, just, I think tattoo artists, when this thing finally winds down, I know that my tattoo artist is going to be busy for a while working on my coronavirus COVID isolation. Tattoo, and it's going to be about that big. Yeah. I don't know where it's going to be, but the longer this thing lasts, the bigger my tattoo is going to be. Let's put it that way. So
well, we'd always talk about. I actually have not a single tattoo or piercing, but that was as soon as I think we hit year 3 or something, we were going to get tattoos. So I mean, if this didn't kill us, I might as well just get a tattoo. It's not going to jinx it. Getting your girlfriend's name, right? So
if you survive this, a tattoo is not going to kill you.
Nah.
So I'm drinking
the White Lodge.
Mm-hmm. This is from a brewery in Seattle called Holy Mountain. Chad, have you heard of them?
We're actually big fans of them. I mean, I love those guys. I wish we could. Oh wait, we have brewed beer with them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, they're actually the best guys. I was just talking about the other day. I was like, I don't know why these guys like me. I don't remember. I must have said something nice back when I worked for Snipes or something. But they've always been the most wonderful, giving people. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, thank you. I finally got packaged beer to drop off with them last time. They're just gorgeous human beings. That's what I was telling you earlier. We kind of are modeling what we're doing down here, kind of following their lead in that the idea of if you just do what a Seattle brewery is doing, you're going to be a couple weeks ahead of the curve down here in rural Washington.
Yeah, so and if you're doing what Holy Mountain's doing, you're going to be a couple of weeks ahead of what anybody else in Seattle is doing usually.
Right.
Yeah, they're a great brewery, and I think one of the things that I love. I mean, this beer, by the way, is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
But one of the things I love about them is they have this attitude. Is just hey, if you're paying attention to us, good for you. We do what we do.
Yeah.
People will find it.
Oh God,
you do it well, people will find you, and it's just that's the way it works.
Yeah. No, I try at all times to not try. It's just really miserable trying really hard sometimes. So that's one of my kind of ethos is hey, it's that old Burt Grant ethos of well, if you don't like the beer, you'll grow up one day, So that classical, we've lost that classical craft brewing asshole, So, I look to bring that back. But yeah, I mean, we're, luckily we're, thank God we're not paying rent in downtown Seattle. And we're not even in Yakima. Thank God we're in Sunnyside where rent's a little bit more reasonable. We're in an incubator through the port of Sunnyside. So we have a lot of protection and safety nets that not a lot of breweries do. So I really, my heart goes out for those guys that are fighting tooth and nail to stay above water. Because we were there, and now we're I can see the horizon again. I can see that the road is going somewhere. Got a little scary there for a couple weeks.
So, why don't you tell us what's going on at the brewery? Not just today. Well, I mean, I guess what's going on at the brewery today is kind of in a nutshell. I just want to introduce, in case there's anybody out there who's paying attention, before we get into that. Because you guys we haven't seen as much of you over here on the west side of the mountains as we would like to, and maybe that's about to change. But we'll get into that here in a second. But you guys are located in Sunnyside, Washington. Sunnyside, for people who don't know, is basically between Yakima and the Tri-Cities. Huge fruit growing and hop growing farming community over there.
Yeah.
And how long ago did you guys open?
Let's see. We opened the tap room. It's almost the second anniversary from that. In 2018, April 28th of 2018, we opened up without a brew house and pouring contract brewed beers from Balebreaker and from Snipes and Bronjar, and just kind of had to survive and that difficulty of delayed equipment of the summer of 2000 or the spring of 2018, which Rubens and Cloudburst and all of us endured. E9 with the Pinnacle situation, but yeah, we got up and running, and it's been just kind of sailing along ever since. We're really we got our just in time for this. We got our first double-sized tank in, so we got a 20-barrel fermenter just in time to like the floor to dry. Yeah, that's why we're canning. Is because I was like, well, we have a 20-barrel batch of our flagship IPA Twine Climber and not enough kegs to put it in. So what are we gonna do, guys? So pivot very, very quickly. That's why I think we need a power pivot beer for all those spreadsheet nerds, because that's what this was, is just immediately knuckling down and getting out those COGS sheets and starting calculating those numbers. So luckily we got this last year we finally hired a salesperson. It was no longer just me or David, another one of the owners, doing some slipshod job of driving 19 half barrels in the back of my truck over to Seattle in a day. But hiring Bobby Eyrich of formerly of Sports Center. For everyone who's been to Yakima during harvest season, when Sports Center shut down, we got that opportunity to snatch him up, and we kind of
wait.
They didn't. They last year they shut down for like 3 months for a renovation, and it was very difficult, and the floor kind of dropped out for a lot of their employees, and we had the opportunity to snatch them up. They've since reopened, and they're not doing takeout yet, but they're working on figuring out when it. I think a lot of people didn't expect this to go for 3 to 5 months, and so they didn't pivot into doing takeout right away. So I think people are starting to warm up to that. But no, yeah. So we just had an opportunity of where he was going to be unemployed while they renovated, and we just I seized on that, and with his connection.
I wanted to make sure you weren't saying that the Sports Center.
No. Sports Center is still fully operational. We have beer on tap there. They're good to go. They're here for all brewers coming into town. They opened in time for selection last year too. It was yeah.
Let's diverge just a little bit. Into your other career.
Yeah, that luckily I am not employed by Varietal Beer Company. I just do work for them on a part-time basis as an owner. I am the master planner of Yakima Chief Hops in their planning department. So I kind of oversee all of our blending and make sure all of hop selection and all of our hop production kind of gets into the right things. These 3 growers, I'm going to put these guys together to make this batch of Citra, for general.
So what you're saying is people.
I know, yeah, I kind of know. So, I mean, that's where we buy, previous crop hops because we don't select or do any of that. So, luckily, we have $25,000 worth of hops in the walk-in because I'm an old brewer. So old brewers stocked up. They didn't do this just-in-time ordering that everybody does nowadays. Yeah. So we don't have the most malt, but we've got hops to brew for probably 6 months. So we're at least we sunk that money in ahead of time. But yeah, so I am still gainfully employed and getting working from home doing that, kind of keeping our planning team together. And we're still, the entire Yakima Chief company pivoted to pretty much as much telecommuting as they could do. The guys in the pellet plant are still finishing up stuff and cleaning, but of course they're all masked up and really keeping it tight. So
is that a YCH? Is that a YCH mask?
No. A friend of my mother's made varietal.
Very cool.
Yeah. No, there are a bunch of really cool YCH masks. They put out the call for 200 masks, and family of employees sewed them in a weekend. So it was pretty intense. They paid a finder's fee per mask. It was really beautiful to see it all come off. So agriculture is essential. Hop agriculture is essential, and we're able to do it safely. All the salespeople work from home anyways, and are getting a lot of Zoom calls going, and we're planning everything for the next harvest. Of course, maybe dialed back just the tiniest bit, but people are kind of recovering from this, and hops are selling. People are coming out of the doldrums and getting beer back into process. Oh yeah, nope, finish it up. So thank God for that. That's why I think a lot of people in Yakima are still actually reporting to work. Speaking of Melissa from Hop Growers of America, just there in the background, also essential. We are still, most of Central Washington is still at work. The asparagus I've drove by, the asparagus is getting picked. It's gotta, so.
Yeah. It ain't gonna stop for nobody. It's gonna keep growing.
No. So that's why essential workers, essential pay. We gotta.
Yeah, let's just to kind of segue here. So you're not the only one of your co-founders, owners of the brewery here that is involved in the hop industry.
Oh yeah. So that's why for Carl. It's funny. We actually get a kind of advanced. Speaking of being with Holy Mountain and following them to be ahead of the curve. Carl Van Evenhoven, one of our 5 owners, he moved to Belgium for Yakima Chief for 2 years to build a warehouse and processing facility over there. And so pretty quickly he came back here once and then was shelter in place, locked down. But, the pictures make it look like a pretty beautiful place to be locked down with cases of Orval and West Vleteren just delivered to your door. So not too bad. But so he's been keeping us abreast and kind of giving us, he's got that, that really, fresh flowing European knowledge. And then, that's me. And then, actually now David is no longer in the hop industry. He is back in finance, doing commercial lending for agriculture. So he still is involved with hops. So we've actually been, having him out there looking out for us as a commercial lender.
I guess kind of what my point is here is that, that Varietal Beer Company is pretty deeply rooted in the hop community over there.
Yeah. I mean, it's either related to.
That's a totally ridiculous understatement. That's like saying Bale Breaker is kind of related to the hop industry or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Understatement. You guys are deep. Your feet are in the same soil as the hops.
I mean that first week of lockdown, the hop growers were calling in keg orders. So we had the Sauvays out here. We had the Carpenters. We had Yakima Valley Hops throwing down. So no, they are. It's a beautiful thing to be in a rural community with all these farmers. I mean, everything's turning around. So we actually planted our first barley this year too in Sunnyside. Ron Newhouse, the guy who takes our spent grain, and whose brother Dan Newhouse is our representative in Congress. He grows hops. We pick up fresh hops from him. So the Newhouses are here. They're supporting us, and we're making it done. Yeah, I know, right? Dan's a great guy. It is really heartening to see the response and to see the support. We wouldn't be here in the first place without farmers and the Sunnyside community. So it's wonderful to be out here and see their response and to see people being responsible and kind of following the guidelines and really kind of helping to beat this down. so that we don't end up at the level that it was in these more populous areas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, we love hops. We need hops. So
the numbers seem to suggest we're doing okay. So let's just hope everybody keeps with it, and that we get the harder we all try right now, the faster we're going to get through this, and things are going to get back to normal. I mean, I know some people don't see it that way, but that's really kind of our only hope, is to keep our heads down and just keep pushing through this thing.
No, and hopefully this is a one in every other generation occurrence. But I've been, I've never seen my wife and child more, and my mother lives 3 houses away, so she's essentially in our group. So a lot of hanging outside. It couldn't happen at a worse time weather-wise, So silver lining. We got to find the silver lining of this. Gives us the time to connect with our families and really figure out what we need. I saw a great thing about when we get back from this, we don't have to bring everything back like it was. We can bring back what we want, what we find really useful. I think one
of the things that I'm learning is, like, I go out for my daily walk every day around the neighborhood, and I'm get up to the top of the hill and turn the corner. It's like, holy crap, there's a mountain over there. Look at that mountain.
Oh God, I bet you've got gorgeous.
There's smog between us. So, hopefully the thing we can learn from this is we don't have to be as busy as we've always been. We don't have to. If there is a way, if there's a way to do it, the world is pretty nice when there's not all that pollution.
Yeah, so, just a little bit. Here, let me. I don't hear a lot of loud noises, so let's segue back to the back.
We're gonna go back, and this Craft Canning Company is one of the mobile canning companies that a lot of people are using these days to get their beer into cans.
I will not drop.
I know they're busy as hell. They're doing a great job. Everybody's very happy that they're here. And I've never seen what this process looks like when they actually roll up and set up their canning line.
Yeah, no, they've got an intense setup. They've got this big, you can kind of see this big depalletizer. So
to break the pallets, the shells out of the pallet. So it's like they just can come in and just set up like a canning line.
Yep, pretty much.
Just like a canning line in any other brewery, but it's all mobile. That is just cool as hell.
Yeah. Here, let me put down this beer so I can hold this expensive laptop very securely. So,
hey, Chad, how long does it take them to set up?
We had a little bit of a carbonation issue on the overside, so we had kind of a longer setup initially, but then once we start going into the other varieties, kind of switched to a different beer, everything just kind of started screaming along. It was like 30 some cans a minute, so 37.
From the time they show up, from the time the truck pulls up outside the brewery, how long does it take them to have the cheers, buddy?
Yeah.
How long does it,
Chris? Yeah. Valerie, I would say, what'd you guys get here at 7?
This morning?
Yeah. So I mean, took a few hours to get set up. So, but I mean, they are consummate professionals and ingenious, crafty, as it were. So, doing a really impressed. I'm getting a real good forearm workout wiping these cans off. So, yeah, it's pretty neat. So I've never, this is the first kind of automated packaging we've done at Varietal. We've been doing all like kind of hand bottling, packaging by Blickman. So beer guns and like I have a gravity filler, like a wine bottle filler for like doing the sour stuff, like how Holy Mountain or anybody does it. But like aside from that, we're pretty lo-fi. So I can go ahead.
Why don't you get back up a little bit and tell us about where were you guys at before this all happened? Oh, look at all those beautiful cans.
Well, that's that first pallet of Supcuz, which is our collaboration with Loza Farms, which is Junior Loza's a hop farmer down in the Yakima Reservation area. So before this, I mean, we were, you're gearing up. It's been winter, so it's been slow but better than previous winters, and you're just kind of weathering the cold season, though it wasn't that cold. We actually had a pretty good winter versus last year versus Snowpocalypse. So we were kind of like winding up, figuring out, hey, this is the growth percentage we're going to experience this coming year. We better, God, I don't know if one tank's going to be enough. So, kind of glad we're bearish a bit, you know.
This is the first time you guys have done any major packaging.
Yeah.
Primarily a draft brewery.
Yeah, we are primary like Cloudburst, like all these guys. It's like the draft worked, you know. It worked super easy to just keep the beer in your tap room fresh and you know, market. You know, it's a marketing expense getting kegs out there almost. But yeah, we mostly did bottle conditioned releases, sour stuff, you know, wine barrel aged kind of stuff, and then you know some like the Sovereign of Nockmaar. I don't know if you got any of that barley wine we did with Skookum, but it's like that. Yeah, we're all super homebrew level packaging with beer guns and stuff. So we kind of, this is a big evolution for us. But really excited because yeah. Speaking, you know, like you said earlier with the West Side, you know, I got a call from a distributor over there asking what we had available because, you know, just the pivot is takes time for everybody to kind of catch up. So we actually, for the time being, will be distributed over on the west side of the Washington state on a regular basis, I think, for the foreseeable future. So we'll have our Twine Climber IPA flagship in 16-ounce cans, Supcuz Hazy IPA. We'll have what's the other? Oh, we did a dry hopped lager with some Mosaic, and then we've got, which is Il Festeggiato, which is means the birthday boy, and then we did the one I was drinking earlier, the Doomsayer, and then we have a huge one with like 7 different varieties coming up in 3 weeks. We'll be canning off, and the next Monday sending to the West Side. So you will definitely see us a lot more in Seattle and probably Portland too. Seeing as we just kind of got to make the beer go out, and it's exciting to get this kind of exposure. It just wasn't the plan yet. You know, I was thinking another year before we really got good West Side distribution. So
which distributor are you with over here in my neighborhood?
Orcus. So we're with Toshi Kojima and Justin Aycock, and I've been talking with them, and we got our first shipment lined up to go out Monday after this gets all done, and we're doing our drive-through tomorrow. Our contactless, like don't roll down the window, hold up your ID, I'll put it in your back seat, see you later. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes, and that'll kind of adjust volumes, and I basically just have to keep enough stuff to survive until 3 weeks from now, you know, because we've had a lot of we burned through a pallet of crowlers, that last pallet of crowlers we had in a week or two, you know, so it was pretty hot and heavy, being again like Cloudburst, like Steve said, the most inefficient canning line in existence. So
not quite.
Yeah.
At least when you're doing crowlers, you're doing 32-ounce cans.
That is true. Yeah. I know. You're right.
I talked to a few that are doing single cans.
Yeah, I know those guys too. I know those guys too. Yeah, I don't. You know, I did that math. It's not much better. So like, this was really cogs wise the better choice. So luckily, Craft has been like amazing to just work with. They were extremely responsive, and we just seized upon the moment, and then saw, everybody wants this beer. Okay, I guess we got to make more. So then we resumed brewing operations, but we took a good 1 to 2 week lull there, and even brewing, just completely uncertain of what was going on. You know, if we were going to need to just like put a tourniquet on everything just to keep the leg. So, but yeah, now we're getting that blood flowing, and I look forward. It's positivity, positive outlook. This will come back. We're going to have, you know, that's what Carl said he heard from a report on is rolling lockdowns, you know, so it is until we beat it completely. So, you know what, we're nothing if not adaptive. That's what we're supposed to be as Americans, right? And humans is adaptive and flexible. And what's the only constant in life? Change. So, yeah.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. To quote the Cheers immortal in my mind.
Yeah. No,
Neil Peart of Rush, you know.
Yeah, I mostly just I'm really worried about those numbers the BA is putting out about how many breweries they expect to see close from this. That's really not great, you know. I mean, it's kind of, you get a little bit of that survivor guilt of like feeling almost ashamed that that we're going to be able to make it out. But I don't know. Yeah, you have to just survive and try to help out. I mean, I'm looking at there's a lot of efforts going on. I really want to figure out how we can support all these various crowdfunding, community supporting efforts to get it out. Yeah, figuring out what should we start making hand sanitizer? Like what is there needed? So just kind of seeing what's happening and just not thinking too much about all that cheap equipment coming.
I'm looking through the comments that are coming through on Facebook, and I'm trying to find something that isn't just like blatant praise for your brewery.
Or just Chris Miller being Chris Miller.
Yeah. He called you Chazzy Poo.
Chazzy Poo, yeah. That was my first. That was my first beer, Mr. Chaz First Brown. Yeah.
And Chris, when he told me, I don't know how long ago it was, probably 10 years ago. When did you go to work for?
Yeah, that was August, the end of August in 2010. Was that was then it was that winter that I got brought to my first winter beer fest at Hales Palladium and got toured around like the new puppy because he was going to like leave me unceremoniously, but
Chris, I don't mean to be telling stories about you, buddy, but like when he hired you, by the time he hired you, I'm pretty sure he had it in his mind that he was going to be going somewhere soon. But he was pretty excited. Finally had a legitimate assistant at the brewery because he was calling you an Amish guy. He didn't use that. He used more flowery language than that. He said, I hired an Amish guy with a young, strong back to work all day.
No, I'm a regular height, like 5'9" person, so I can lift a half barrel into the back of a truck. I mean, that's the thing is again, I always try to, like, if I get too drunk or something, I start texting. I go, hey man, like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, man. Like, because he dropped this brewery wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Chris Miller getting tricked into going to Sunnyside. So, so I mean, I mean, that's what it is, but that's why.
To Chris's credit and to their credit, he's not the only one who's been tricked into going there.
It's a long list. Tony Savoy, Joe Carula, Terry Butler. It's a story. That's why it was great being the Snipes brewer over on the west side because I had so much sympathy. They'd heard the story already, so they're like, yeah, we know, man. Drew would be like, it's cool, I'm here for you. So, I'm sorry, John Spoden. You can't put a mask on with a big beard. I was thinking, I did see someone do on a meme. What is it? Do the Jim Parker, the fold your beard up and then put your glasses over it. But my beard wasn't that point yet, so I had to just like get the clippers out. So I try to do it semi often to remind myself, no, don't do that. Also, take a walk. Don't eat that pizza. You and
me have both been guilty of it. I was just guilty of it. You were just guilty. We're not supposed to be touching our faces. For me, the beard was just one more reason to touch my face. So I shaved my beard off.
Don't worry. I've been dousing my hands in isopropyl alcohol. So we've got spray bottles everywhere. Like, So, So, it's we're figuring it out. Yeah, we've got. I'm really excited for all the beers coming off. Yeah, you're not supposed to touch your mask either. So I don't know. I'm in a catch-22 of like mostly staying home, Yeah. This is my second day maybe out this week at most, and pretty much try to only go to the brewery and then go home and spray every alcohol everywhere in the intermediate, So it's definitely exciting. I always think in times like this, there's an old Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times, and God, I thought it was interesting enough already.
No doubt. Just imagine things being. You could rewind the clock 6 months or hell 6 weeks and go. Wouldn't it be great to live in like normal, boring times again? Things haven't been boring since like 2014. Anyway,
it is definitely. But you know what? It's just you just take it on and what's the next one, and then hopefully maybe there'll be like a baby boom after this and those kids can have that idyllic life that all the baby boomers had, and we'll be dull again, Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm being screamed at. So
Okay.
apparently I'm a gold bricker.
All right. Well, we got to wrap this up, Dan.
All right.
We're at time anyway.
There
So
we go. Perfect.
thanks for joining us today, Chad. And
thanks, guys.
my sincere appreciation for giving me a reason to brush my hair today.
Yeah.
And
Same here,
I know you guys are going to be open tomorrow for some drive-through for people in the area. Don't drive across the state to get beer. They'll be bringing beer to you soon.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. So we're going to sign off now. And thanks a lot, Chad. And cheers to Varietal. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching us today. Cheers.
Cheers. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Oh, I touched my face again. And I